Welcome everybody back to Eadsy Astronomy. Been around, just been really busy. You're going to see probably a slur of 3 or 4 posts come out tonight. This is the first one I want to go over. This is just a video of my observing sessions from the night of December 11th and 12th last week, Thursday and Friday. You can remember I posted on here that Wednesday was a no-go. Really had wanted to get out. We'd had a storm come through Monday and Tuesday last week. But unfortunately, looking at Astrophysic, looking at National Weather Service, the GOES satellite, high wind site, and a couple other sites, I just knew that Wednesday was out, and sure enough, it was out. Thursday would be average, it would be okay, and it ended up being pretty good actually. I'd say we had very good transparency, good seeing that night, and Friday night. And this is something I touch on in the post, but I'll touch on here with you. Where I live, and again, this goes back to just the importance of knowing the sites you go to, the conditions, your local weather, and how the national weather impacts local weather. I know that in the winter, late fall through winter, and into early spring, if we have a storm come through the area, 2 days after that storm, and more likely the second and the third day after the storm, it is going to be absolutely fabulous. If I can get out, I'm getting out. Now that I'm retired, I'm going to get out there. And the reason for that is that first night after the storm comes through, the high pressure is usually moving in, the low's moving out. You're getting winds up in the atmosphere, surface winds too sometimes. It just causes a lot of twinkling. Probably Antonati is about a 3 or 4, and I'll do a post on the Antonati scale for those of you who don't know what that is. That's one way I measure the sky. Transparency and seeing, I would say, are below average just because of all the turbulence in the sky. It'd be like being in the bottom of a pool and somebody's jumping in, a bunch of people are jumping in. It's just that water above you, if you're looking up, is just all swish, swashing, swishing, just moving around a lot. The second night, low's gone, high pressures come in. That's a good night. That third night, it's always the magic night. If you can get out there that third night after a storm, and sometimes it's the second, just depends on conditions and how the weather patterns are moving, you're going to hit a golden night. Those are the nights that I really strive for, because if I'm going to have a night of nights in northern Utah, it's going to be in the winter. It's going to be a couple days, 2-3 days after a storm blows through, because the air is just still. High pressure's coming in, haze has not developed yet. It is just magical. So in this case, Thursday the 11th was a good night. Friday, spectacular. Okay. Since then, nothing but clouds and storm today. So a lot of rain today, which we're really warmer than average right now. We're in the 50s. We're going to be up near 60 next week before Christmas. It's really warm this year. We haven't had a lot of moisture, not a lot of snow. It's great for observing. It's not good for our water. I like it when it rains in the valley and just dumps snow like crazy up in the mountains. Anyway, so my friend Shane and I decided to go out, and when I go out, I can look at a couple things. I'll show you both of these. I'm going to go to Astrophysic real quick, and I'm going to come up, and let's refresh this because it's coming in like I want. Probably because I'm looking at conditions out at Conger Springs, which is out in the far west of, here's Severe Lake, there's Notch Peak, there's Conger Springs. It's way out there. You can see forecast maybe next Tuesday, but that's not promising. Definitely, I don't think I'm going out Christmas night, so that's not going to work. Anyway, let me pull this up really quick. I am going to pull up Erickson Pass Corral site. I'm just going to let it go there. And the reason I'm doing that is that Astrophysic will show this really well on the map. Let me just, I don't want to do that. Let me see if I can zoom in. No, it takes my sites away. We'll just come back here. I have what I call my southern sites, and I have my northern sites. Okay. On the map, my northern sites tend to be really great. I love this lakeside site. There's no ambient light. You can see a little thing from the freeway way in the distance, but it's going east-west. You're looking south toward the freeway, and even if you're observing in that direction, that light just doesn't impact you. You do get lighting up to about 10-15 degrees from the Salt Lake, Ogden to Provo, Spanish Fork, that light dome right there. You're always going to be impacted at any of these sites looking east by that light dome. And it's up about 20 degrees now, maybe 22 degrees. But north, south, and anything to the west, just and zenith is gorgeous. Anyway, if I go to my actual map where I have a Google map that I keep all my sites on, it kind of shows it a little bit better. My northern sites are the Knolls, the Lakeside area, Skull Valley. My southern sites are the Forest Road, Top View, and then Erickson Pass and out by Simpson Springs. Erickson Pass is here. I'll just kind of zoom in. Here's the Corral site. You can see, but when I click on it, and maybe I'll share this link again. It's on you can get to it on my blog, but I'll make sure I put it here. I have pictures here. You can see the site. Let's just bring it up so you can kind of see what it looks like. What I like about this site is going in this road off the main road. You can see the main road over here. This is all gravel. This is dirt. You can set up in the gravel. You can set up in the dirt. There is, right behind me, because I'm taking that picture toward the ascent, is 3 or 4 large junipers. Dugway's to the northwest, about 20 miles. Minimum light, doesn't really impact you, but the junipers just block any stray light coming from the few lights out at Dugway. This is just a beautiful site. If it snows, I set up in the gravel. If not, I kind of prefer the dirt. It's just a little more smooth. But anyway, it's a wonderful site. See if I can show you. Of course, there are wild horses out here, and you can see this is the cattle gate coming up, and the horses that they were up there when we were out there scouting this last spring. Here you are looking toward the southwest. There's your southern view right through here. Southwest is over here. This is looking west. It's Indian Peak Mountains there, looking in the distance. There's the corral, there's the juniper. You can see we usually set up where the wheel tracks are here. And then this is looking north. That's looking east. And then just going back, we just come back to the main site. What I like about this over the Forest Road sites is I love the Forest Road sites. However, there's been a lot of buildup of light pollution now out here in Eagle Mountain. And here in southern Eagle Mountain, there's actually a data center now that's gone in. Horrible light. That light pollution's pushed out here. It's pushed out a little bit when you mix that with Solar Max. It's impacted the darkness of those sites. Solar Max tends to go away over the next couple of years. These sites will get darker. I'll probably go out to them again because they're just near and dear to my heart. I have great memories with a bunch of people there. Jorge, Matt, Jeff, others that went out there, Shahid. But out here at Erickson Pass Road, I actually prefer that road. To get out there, it's actually pretty easy. You just come down 36, hit the Pony Express right after Fost, and that's paved, and up to about here. Then it turns into a beautiful gravel road through here. You can see I have some other observing sites that I've marked here. I've actually checked them out. I need to update them. I have pictures and images to put in. There's a couple sites out here that are just a little bit closer, probably just as dark as the Forest Road out here. Erickson Pass, though, is a little darker, and to get there, you come out the Pony Express Road. You're going to go through Lookout Pass right here, and past Aunt Libby's Dog Cemetery. I have a little thing over on the Paetron site about that. Come around, and you're going to take your first major road that you come down here after you come out the pass. Okay, you'll see it's called South Government Creek Road. It's also called Erickson Pass Road. And you'll take Erickson Pass or South Government Creek all the way down here until you come to this little corral site here. As it comes into focus, the corral's here. You can actually, I've taken pictures through here, and that's exactly where we set up. Beautiful site. A little bit of wind sometimes because if you look, you're between the sheep rocks, and here you have Indian Peaks and mountains here. So you do get a little funneling of wind through here at times when you have a low pressure to the north and high pressure to the south. Take out that 3 or 5 mile an hour wind, is a beautiful, excellent sight. Anyway, so that's where we decided to go. And the reason we went there was when I looked at the weather forecast, I could see, and this is the problem in the winter with the northern sites, that we were getting low pressure and it was going to just scoot clouds just right along this border here. And so I didn't want to take a chance at the Knolls because it could have been, it was about a 50-50. Lakeside was probably 70-30 that it would be clouded. Skull Valley about 50-50. And looking at Erickson Pass, it was clear. So if I'm gonna put the time in and go, I'm gonna go to Erickson Pass. The road out to Erickson Pass on the Pony Express is a lot better than going out to the sites in Vernon. So it's another reason why that's going to become probably the site I go to more often than not. It's the same distance, an hour and a half, but it's darker, it's farther out. There's really, outside of the Dugway up here, about 20 miles away, there's no real major light that's out there. And I'm mainly looking to the south, southwest, and west through here in zenith as things pass up and over. You got the light dome here coming from here. That's up about 20 degrees. So anyway, back to the post. So on my way out, I'm now taking video. I've put the video in here. It's just raw video. You can watch it or not watch it. I share some things, and you can see some things here about Aunt Libby's pet cemetery. There's actually 2 adults and a child from a pioneer company that was passing through Skull Valley that died. They were buried there. And then Aunt Libby Rockwell with her husband Horace, who lived here for quite a while. She loved her dogs, treated her dogs better than her work hands. And as they died, they were buried in there. They eventually moved on to California. Anyway, here you can see just pictures of the site as I'm coming down. You can see those clouds to the north, like I said, and then video of me going out. This is just a video of the site if you want to take a look at it. And here you can see those clouds to the north. There were some high cirrus to the south that dissipated after sunset, and this is looking west. There's southwest. This is looking west. And just gorgeous. And Utah has some beautiful sunsets. It's one of the things I do appreciate about my 32 years here. Just beautiful sunsets. And you can see the sky calmed down. It got better as the evening went on. So anyway, then I went through, and what I've done is I have my sketches here. I tell you what the object is. Here's my observation. And then I just give you info or background info on the galaxy. This is my sketch. There's 2 of them just because of how I took the picture. This is a little broader shot than this. It's probably my best sketch I've done of Messier 33. It's probably the best view I had of it out there. You can see that at the time it was done, SQML at this time, it was still earlier in the evening, 2163, get up to about 2174, 75. All these were with the 17.5 Dob. Usually using the 22 Nigler or XWA, Astrotech, and the 7mm XWA, and always with a paracore too. I described the galaxy. You had a bright inner core. You can see the NGC, what is it, 691 right here. And I'm going to tell you whenever I first look at M33, just take out the arms and just make that one solid, constant, faint fuzzy with a bright core near the center. That's what I'm going to see at a quick glance. I have to study it to tease out these arms, okay? And to get the modeling in, to get all that in takes practice. I have to use averted vision, looking off to the side. Sometimes I shake the scope just a little bit. It really doesn't help a whole lot, I don't think. But I do use averted vision a lot, and I use a variety of eyepieces. One thing I haven't put in these, I usually have the 6mm University Optics Ortho with me. It's less glass, it's a very narrow field of view, about 45-50 degrees, but I actually get some details from that because of the less amount of glass in it than when I look through with the XWAs, the Nagler's Telviews, or with the Pentax's XWs. They're just a little bit more detailed because there's less glass. And that's how I'm able to tease some of the detail out of that. Probably my best sketch of M33 that I've done. Some others, and I'm going to make just a comment on my sketches. There are people who sketch far more beautiful than me. These are unprocessed. I did not put them through GIMP. You can see right here on this one, NGC 404, the Ghost of Mirroc. Here's Mirroc. That's not a perfect round circle. I'm doing that on purpose. This is exactly what I sketched at the eyepiece. No enhancements, no rounding of stars, nothing like that. Kind of figured out the color thing on the camera that I'm using for that. So I like the image here. Stars aren't quite as white as they are in the sketch. That's okay, they're white enough, and I get enough of the detail from the sketch. There's a little bit of detail left out there. It's good enough to show you this is what an object's going to look like, okay? And this is what it looks like through a telescope. It's not going to look like a Hubble image. It's not going to look like a processed image that somebody comes out and takes through a camera if they're imaging out where we are. And this is a visual look. But here's the thing. If you look at this and you look at this object is 8 to 8.2 million light years from Earth. That meant on December 11th, when I was looking at this object, the light I was seeing that bounced off my mirror and my telescope up to the secondary, through the eyepiece to this eye right here, that left eye, it left that galaxy 8 million years ago. That's incredible to me. What's happened on this planet in 8 million years? A lot. What's happened in the universe in 8 million years? A lot. I'm looking back at time as that light hits me, and it really humbles me. Reminds me that I'm 60, so my short, however much time I have left, probably something less than 20 years, maybe 25 if I'm lucky, and the quality of that hopefully is good, is minuscule compared to what goes on in the universe. And that humbles me. It reminds me, as big as important, sometimes I think I am, I'm really not. Things are going to go on long after I'm gone and forgotten. Hopefully it does remind me of this, that the relationship I have with my wife, my kids, my grandkids, my dear friends, and those that I associate within my sphere of influence and friendship, that's where it's really important. Those are the relationships that matter. I need to make, as much as I love observing, I need to make sure I make time for this stuff. Anyway, you can see as I continue to go through 205, this is 110, studied 110 separate from M31, really got into some detail on that. Should have elongated that just a little bit more. That's okay. Here is 908. There was modeling, hinting of arm structure there that I could get. And you can look at these, the little sombrero. Probably the dust lane on that one's a little too dark, needed to make it a little lighter. Oh well, it is what it is. This is two sketches of Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, NGC 1055. And you can just go through these. A little video when I'm leaving, video going out the next day. This is what it looks like on the 12th. This is magical. Look at that sky. That's what I had going out to the observing site at the corral. This was incredible. And that's looking south from the site. Sky's a little bright because we're coming in. There was no haze. This was a bad picture. I took it too fast. Here's nightfall. Here's looking west through the corral. You can see it's just gorgeous. A few thin clouds out to the northwest. This is looking southwest, Indian Peak, and then looking west, zoomed in toward the. I just lost it. Looking out toward the Deep Creek Mountains, where Shane and I will go next summer. Really dark out there too. And then the sketches that I did. You can go through and look at these if you want. You can read my observation notes. You can go through them. You can read the background. I've tried to include some background things, and if you look carefully at the background things, I think you'll find some things that, if you're newer to the hobby, might be really of interest to you. And if you don't know, remember Google's your friend, or whatever search engine you use is your friend. Like here, what is a Type 1A PEC supernova? I'm not going to tell you. I'll let you find that out for yourself. But it's looking up. Here's the dumbbell, Messier 76, NGC 691 right there. The brighter portion. This is Able 2. You can kind of see it right above my pointer right here. Hopefully my pointer is aligned now. And then I ended up in a red nest with a couple. And then I've posted, I had the SeeStar out there, and I was imaging the SeeStar, both the 11th and the 12th. This is, if it says C22, that's Caldwell 22. Here is a CH2171. You can look that up and see what it is. IC63, and what I've done in a couple places is I've gone in just to the iPhoto editor and edited them up a little bit. One of my favorite objects, Thor's helmet. There's the Orion Nebula. There's part of the California Nebula in Perseus. And I need to redo this. On this one I wasn't happy. It's IC443. I should have looked and then adjusted the camera over here to the left a little bit more to get the brightest portion in. I'm going to observe IC443 next clear night out at a dark site, and I'll re-image it for that. And then you can see here are the images I did for the 12th. And right now these images match with some of the images that I actually observed and sketched. I had the SeeStar imaging them. For example, here is 448. You can see that faint dust lane that goes through the core right there in the image, and a little bit of tapering right there. Pretty good capture of it. There's a wide field view of Caldwell 43, and there's the two 1052, 1047, 448 right there, and then 410 right there. So you can go through and just take a look at this stuff, see what you learn. Again, my sketches right now, for the most part, except for the Ables, are really in line following Stephen O'Mara's monthly Herschel 400 guide, and I'll eventually put them into a website by month, by the number, by the night, because he has different nights: night 1, night 2, night 3, night 4. And I'll put the observation in with the sketch for each of those nights to match it up, and that way hopefully the sketch kind of gives you a feel, if you ever do the Herschel 400, what it looks like. I'll be doing the same with the Able and the Hicksons. I didn't hit any Hicksons this night. That will be, I was hoping to get that in, but we'll have to see how the weather holds for the next, if we get some changes, hopefully over the next week. Love observing, love learning about the universe, love looking at the news, love sharing the news. This is at the heart of what I love. This is what got me addicted to the hobby. This is what got me addicted to my interest in astronomy, is getting out and doing it. Eadsy Astronomy is opened up because one of the things you'll be seeing shortly is a website open up where people who are interested in the hobby but would like to learn a little bit about it before investing in the hobby, they can sign up, and for a mere fee, basically not a lot of money, probably 50 bucks or so, they can come out, spend an evening with me. I'll show them the night sky, teach them how to use the planisphere, teach them how to use the Pi Finder. I'll have a Dobsonian with me. I'll have a refractor with me. I'll have the SeeStar with me, and they can download the app and use the SeeStar. The goal will be to get them to use each of those scopes, and for them to find out which one kind of fits with what they're wanting to do. If they're going to use the refractor or the Dobsonian, I'll have a Pi Finder there on it, and the Pi Finder, I'll teach them how to use it. I'll also teach them how to star hop using the Telrad and the Finder Scope, because I believe you do need to be able to do that. But I think in today's, I love the Pi Finder. I think some of the technology coming with that, to where I can lead them through the experience on the Pi Finder and they follow along, powerful. I think it will get more people interested in the hobby, actually seeing things, especially if they're trying to observe in light pollution. They can maybe get some objects a little quicker and spend some more time just on the object. I love star hopping. I spent about 3 hours with the Pi Finder that night before the battery went out. I took it off. I hooked it up to an external source, did it a few more times, then I just took it off. I put back on the Telrad, made sure everything was aligned between the Finder Scope, the Stellar View, and the eyepiece and the Telrad, and I star hopped the rest of the evening. Really just I like the Pi Finder. It gets me to an object. It allows me to really observe the object and sketch the object. I can get more done than if I traditionally just star find. But on the fainter objects, I do really like to star hop to it. I need to figure out a way to get the Pi Finder on the scope and leave the Telrad on. That way I can star hop and then use the Pi Finder to confirm my positioning on my star hop, especially with some of the fainter objects that I go after. Hope you have clear skies. I hope you take advantage of them. I hope, if nothing else, you just get out and look up. My newsletter, I always try to include some naked eye objects or some naked eye things to see. Look up. See what's up there. Realize that as important as our lives are to ourselves and to those we love, there's a whole universe out there with questions and answers. There's a whole life out there with questions and answers. And I hope that you're seeking those questions, those answers. I hope you're making connections. And I hope you're looking up. I hope the sky is clear for you to look up. I hope in your personal life your sky is clear. Sometimes clouds come in. I have a dear friend who had some pretty big clouds come in this week. Hopefully things look like they're going good in that situation. So I just want Steve to know I'm thinking about him, praying for him and his wife. Hope everything is well and continues to get better there. Anyway, have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.